Hi, my name is Dr. Patricia Murugami. Welcome to Your Next Best Self. I know you might be wondering, who's this Dr. Patricia Murugami? Well, I'm a leadership catalyst, a leadership coach, an educator on matters to do with life, leadership, love, and legacy. And I hope that as you start to listen in and practice some of the leadership insights we'll be sharing here, you'll begin to see your next best self. Welcome back to Your Next Best Self with me, Dr. Patricia Murugami. You know, I'm really excited about March because March is known globally as the International Women's Month, specially recognized on March 8th, International Women's Day. But I'm excited to see that people celebrate, think about how they are treating women in the workplace right through the month and find ways in which they can actually step up. You know, today I want to talk a little bit about gender equity. And I know that this year's theme is Embrace Equity. And I know there's been a lot of talk around equality and equity. And I know that many times people get really confused. But I was just reflecting about the word embracing equity. And it got me to think about the role of a mother. I have friends who have 8 children, 7 children, 6 children, you know, and I admire them. And I find that that is such generosity of heart, of spirit, and the focus, whether you have a child or you have many children, a mother's heart is very different. And what I've learned from my own parenting journey is that each child is different, even if they are twins. And so a wise mother loves every child, but loves every child in their own special way. First of all, I don't know whether you know that children have a very high sense of justice. You know, I remember a couple of years ago, and I was serving some juice, and then one of my daughters said, "Mommy, you've poured for me a little bit more than the other one, a little bit less, you know?" And I was like, really? And so I was really trying to make sure they're equal, you know, that's equality, in terms of serving them. But as time went on, I have had the privilege of having friends who also have children who have special needs. And I find that if you have a child who has a special need, I find the family is very special. They have a higher sense of empathy. They are more kind. They somehow look out for each other just because of the experience of having a sibling who is not able to do something or the other like the rest. But what I find is that those children, whether they are autistic, whether they have Down syndrome, whether they're unwell in one way or the other, are such a gift. Are such a gift to that family because they actually change the tone. And in fact, some research was done that those who come from families where there's a child who has a special need tend to have a higher sense of empathy, which is a critical skill, leadership skill for thriving now and in the work of the future. We'll talk about that another day. So, gender equity, embracing equity. Those mothers have taught me that they love all their children. But this one who is unwell, if they have a speech defect, for example, they are learning how to speak. This mother is not going to the extent that she can, she's not going to just put them in the normal class where everyone already speaks. Yeah, let's say a child has a delayed speech. They will go out of their way to get someone, a speech therapist, to actually walk that child through, to help them get through the milestones of speaking. So that is equity. Yes, she loves all her children, but she recognizes that each child has a different special need. This one requires to be read for. This one needs to be managed differently. This one requires a certain kind of food. This other one requires, that is equity. Taking each person, understanding their needs, and providing them what they need to succeed based on where they are and helping them get to where they're trying to go. That is embracing equity. So let's take that to the workplace. I have had the opportunity of having a number of colleagues go on to maternity leave. And I just want to say that maternity leave is not a holiday, okay? Those 3-4 months, that mother, that father who is also supporting maybe through parental paternity leave, they are doing something that no one has put any money to. They are helping us build the next generation by bringing forth life and taking care of that child in the most critical time. And so I remember one time one of my colleagues came back to work, and their child was just not sleeping. I mean, this was month 4. That child was constantly unwell, and she had to come back to work at the time. And I remember one of the things that stood out for me is our boss, a gentleman, and I just want to honor the gentlemen who really get it. He looked at her and he said, "I can see that you're really struggling to work. I know you are an excellent performer. So I know now when you're not able to perform, there must be something going on." And in that conversation, he told her, "I need you to just tell me what's going on so that I can help you do better, you know?" And she didn't want to tell him because she didn't want to look like she's weak. But I have found there's a lot of strength in vulnerability, wise vulnerability. And so she told him, "Well, my child is not sleeping. I do everything I can. I'm not able to sleep. So when I get to work, I'm so exhausted. And I really want to put in a good piece of work, but somehow I'm just not able to." And do you know, this boss of hers told her, "What is the issue? Could you explain a little bit more so that I can see if there's any way I can put you in touch with an expert who can help you? Are they managing to digest the milk? Are they, what is it? Do you need a lactation expert? Do you need," in a very professional way. And beyond that, I remember he told her, "I'm giving you an opportunity to work from home, but to work half a week. Yeah. Right now, I want you to just try and get the help that you need for the next week. And then let's review every week and see how your child is progressing and how you're progressing. I don't need a mother here who is not feeling well. It is against our company values, and it's against how I should treat you as a human being." I remember that colleague and friend of mine came back and told me, "Patricia, I will work here for the next decade. If this is how you're treated when things are hard," because unfortunately in many workplaces, when things are hard is when you're kicked even harder. When you're down, you're kicked. Yeah. So today I want to encourage you. Remember that embracing equity is not embracing equality. It is understanding what is it that each person in your team, each person in your family, each person around your table, whether it's a dining table or the boardroom table, who are they? How can you help them make the most of their time with you in the workspace such that they can contribute their unique talents, and you can clear the way and remove any barriers that prevent them from becoming their next best selves? That is embracing equity. So in the next couple of days, I'll be sharing with you more insights on my own leadership journey, which has been so bumpy. And I have had chances to not be treated with equity, be treated with equity. And I have found that over time, let's pay it forward, even if we didn't receive it. Let's not be those women who say, "it was so difficult for me." Do you know, for us, it was, 2 weeks of leave, maternity leave. Well, this young one's getting 4 months. No, that cannot be us. We've got to be the ones who get over, heal, and forgive those people who treated us in a way that didn't really help us grow at the time, but recognize that those opportunities that came with, yes, being treated badly, once you recover, you realize that's the kind of leader I don't want to be. And in fact, let me help this one who's just growing in her professional and leadership journey. I want to wish each and every one of you, I know I have the privilege of speaking in Uganda with Evolving Woman. It's the first time I'm going back to Uganda in a long time. I'm excited about the prospects, and that really marks the beginning of International Women's Day. I'm looking forward to engaging with many of you, our corporate and, public sector clients from all over the world, and sharing a little more insight around how you can embrace equity to ensure that we make the world more human and more humane. Pay it forward, look around, use the eyes of empathy, and embrace equity in this International Women's Month 2023.